The Ohio class of nuclear-powered submarines is currently used by the United States Navy. The Navy has 18 Ohio-class submarines, 14 ballistic missile submarines, SSBN, and 4 that were later converted to guided missile submarines, SSGN. The Ohio class was named after the lead submarine of this class, USS Ohio. The 14 Trident II SSBNs together carry about half of U.S. active strategic thermonuclear warheads. Although the Trident missiles have no preset targets when the submarines go on patrol, they can be given targets quickly using secure and constant radio communications links, including very low-frequency systems. All the Ohio-class submarines, except for USS Henry M. Jackson, are named for U.S. states, which U.S. Navy tradition had previously reserved for battleships and cruisers. The Ohio-class boats are the largest submarines ever built for the U.S. Navy. 2 Russian Navy classes have larger total displacements. The Soviet-designed Typhoon-class submarines have more than twice the total displacement, and Russia's Borei-class submarines have roughly 25% greater displacement, but the Ohio-class boats carry more missiles than either, 24 Trident missiles apiece, versus 16 by the Borei class, 20 by the Borei II, and 20 by the Typhoon class. Description: the Ohio class was designed for extended war deterrence patrols. Each submarine is provided with 2 complete crews, called the Blue Crew and the Gold Crew, which each typically serve 70 to 90-day deterrent patrols. To decrease the time in port for crew turnover and replenishment, 3 large logistics hatches have been installed to provide large-diameter resupply and repair access. These hatches allow rapid transfer of supply pallets, equipment replacement modules, and machinery components, speeding up replenishment and maintenance of the submarines. Moreover, the stealth ability of the submarines was a quantum leap over all previous ballistic missile subs. Ohio was virtually undetectable in her sea trials in 1982, giving the U.S. Navy extremely advanced flexibility. The class's design allows the boat to operate for about 15 years between major overhauls. These submarines are reported to be as quiet at their cruising speed of 20 knots, 37 km per hour, 23 miles per hour, or more than the previous Lafayette-class submarines at 6 knots, 11 km per hour, 6.9 miles per hour, although exact information remains classified. Fire control for their Mark 48 torpedoes is carried out by Mark 118 Mod 2 system, while the missile fire control system is a Mark 98. The Ohio-class submarines were constructed from sections of hull, with each foredeck section being 42 feet, 13 m, in diameter. The sections were produced at the General Dynamics Electric Boat Facility, Quonset Point, Rhode Island, and then assembled at its shipyard at Groton, Connecticut. The U.S. Navy has a total of 18 Ohio-class submarines which consist of 14 ballistic missile submarines, SSBNs, and 4 cruise missile submarines, SSGNs. The SSBN submarines are also known as Trident submarines, and provide the sea-based leg of the U.S. nuclear triad. Each SSBN submarine is armed with up to 24 Trident II submarine-launched ballistic missiles, SLBM. Each SSGN is capable of carrying 154 Tomahawk cruise missiles, plus a complement of Harpoon missiles to be fired through their torpedo tubes. History: the first 8 Ohio-class submarines were armed at first with 24 Trident IC-4 SLBMs beginning with the 9th Trident submarine, Tennessee. The remaining boats were equipped with the larger, 3-stage Trident II D5 missile. The Trident I missile carries 8 multiple independently targetable reentry vehicles, while the Trident II missile carries 12, in total delivering more destructive power than the Trident I missile and with greater accuracy. Starting with Alaska in 2000, the Navy began converting its remaining ballistic missile submarines armed with C-4 missiles to carry D5 missiles. This task was completed in mid-2008. The first 8 submarines had their home ports at Bangor, Washington, to replace the submarines carrying Polaris A-3 missiles that were then being decommissioned. The remaining 10 submarines originally had their home ports at Kings Bay, Georgia, replacing the Poseidon and Trident backfit submarines of the Atlantic Fleet. During the conversion of the first 4 submarines to SSGNs, see below, 5 of the submarines, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Nebraska, Maine, and Louisiana, were transferred from Kings Bay to Bangor. Further transfers occur as the strategic weapons goals of the United States change. In 2011, Ohio-class submarines carried out 28 deterrent patrols. Each patrol lasts around 70 days. 4 boats are on station, hard alert, in designated patrol areas at any given time. From January to June 2014, Pennsylvania carried out a 140-day-long patrol, the longest to date. SSBN/SSGN conversions. After the end of the Cold War, plans called for Ohio to be retired in 2002, followed by 3 of her sister boats. However, Ohio, Michigan, Florida, and Georgia instead were slated for modification, to remain in service carrying conventionally armed guided missiles, and were redesignated as SSGNs. The conversion modified 22 of the 24 88-inch, 2.2 m, diameter Trident missile tubes to contain large vertical launch systems, one configuration of which may be a cluster of 7 Tomahawk cruise missiles. In this configuration, the number of cruise missiles carried could be a maximum of 154, the equivalent of what is typically deployed in a surface battle group. Other payload possibilities include new generations of supersonic and hypersonic cruise missiles, and submarine-launched intermediate-range ballistic missiles, unmanned aerial vehicles, the ADM-160 MALD, sensors for anti-submarine warfare or intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions, counter-mine warfare payloads such as the IN/BLQ-11 long-term mine reconnaissance system, and the Broaching Universal Buoyant Launcher and Stealthy Affordable Capsule System specialized payload. Canisters. The missile tubes also have room for stowage canisters that can extend the forward deployment time for special forces. The other 2 Trident tubes are converted to swimmer lockout chambers. For special operations, the Advanced Seal Delivery System and the dry deck shelter can be mounted on the lockout chamber, and the boat will be able to host up to 66 Special Operations sailors or Marines, such as Navy SEALs, or USMC MARSOC teams. Improved communications equipment installed during the upgrade allows the SSGNs to serve as a forward-deployed, clandestine small combatant joint command center. On September 26, 2002, the Navy awarded General Dynamics Electric Boat a $442.9 million contract to begin the first phase of the SSGN submarine conversion program. Those funds covered only the initial phase of conversion for the first 2 boats on the schedule. Advanced procurement was funded at $355 million in fiscal year 2002, $825 million in the FY 2003 budget and, through the 5-year Defense Budget Plan, at $936 million in FY 2004, $505 million in FY 2005, and $170 million in FY 2006. Thus, the total cost to refit the 4 boats is just under $700 million per vessel. In November 2002, Ohio entered a dry dock, beginning her 36-month refueling and missile conversion overhaul. Electric Boat announced on January 9, 2006 that the conversion had been completed. The converted Ohio rejoined the fleet in February 2006, followed by Florida in April 2006. The converted Michigan was delivered in November 2006. The converted Ohio went to sea for the first time in October 2007. Georgia returned to the fleet in March 2008 at Kings Bay. These 4 SSGNs are expected to remain in service until about 2023-2026. At that point, their capabilities will be replaced with Virginia payload module-equipped Virginia-class submarines. Replacement. The U.S. Department of Defense anticipates a continued need for a sea-based strategic nuclear force. The first of the current Ohio SSBNs is expected to be retired by 2029, meaning that a platform must already be seaworthy by that time. A replacement may cost over $4 billion per unit compared to Ohio's $2 billion. The U.S. Navy is exploring 2 options. The first is a variant of the Virginia-class nuclear-powered attack submarines. The second is a dedicated SSBN, either with a new hull or based on an overhaul of the current Ohio. With the cooperation of both Electric Boat and Newport News Shipbuilding, in 2007, the U.S. Navy began a cost control study. Then in December 2008, the U.S. Navy awarded Electric Boat a contract for the missile compartment design of the Ohio-class replacement, worth up to $592 million. Newport News is expected to receive close to 4% of that project. The U.S. Navy has yet to confirm an Ohio-class replacement program. However, in April 2009, U.S. Defense Secretary Robert M. Gates confirmed that the U.S. Navy should begin such a program in 2010. The new vessel is scheduled to enter the design phase by 2014. It is anticipated that, if a new hull design is used, the program must be initiated by 2016 to meet the 2029 deadline. In popular culture, as ballistic missile submarines, the Ohio class has occasionally been portrayed in fiction books and films. The fictional USS Montana is featured in the 1989 film The Abyss. USS Alabama is the setting for the 1995 submarine film, Crimson Tide. The fictional ballistic missile submarine, USS Colorado, SSBN 753, is the primary setting for the ABC television series Last Resort. USS Wyoming is featured in Season 1, Episode 13 of American television series The Brave. Class Overview. Name, Ohio Class. Builders, General Dynamics Electric Boat. Operators, United States Navy. Preceded by, Benjamin Franklin Class. Succeeded by, Columbia Class. Cost. $2 billion, late 1990s. $2.86 billion in 2016 dollars. Built, 1976–1997. In commission, 1981 present. Planned, 24. Completed, 18. Cancelled, 6. Active, 18. General characteristics. Type, SSBN/SSGN, hull design SCB-304. Displacement. 16,764 tons, 16,499 long tons, surfaced. 18,750 tons, 18,450 long tons, submerged. Length, 560 feet, 170 m. Beam, 42 feet, 13 m. Draft, 35.5 feet, 10.8 m, maximum. Propulsion. 1 times S8GPWR nuclear reactor. 2 times geared turbines, 60,000 shop, 45 MW, Fairbanks Morse auxiliary diesel. 1 times 325 HP, 242 kilowatts, auxiliary motor. 1 shaft with 7-bladed screw. Speed. 12 knots, 22 km per hour, 14 miles per hour, surfaced. 20 knots, 37 km per hour, 23 miles per hour, submerged, official. 25 knots, 46 km per hour, 29 miles per hour, submerged, reported. Range, limited only by food supplies. Test depth, plus 800 feet, 240 m. Complement, 15 officers, 140 enlisted. Sensors and processing systems. BQQ-6 passive bow-mounted array, which includes BQS-13 fire control array. BQR-19 navigation. TB-16 or BQR-23 towed array. BQR-25 conformal array. Armament, 4 x 21 inch, 533 mm, Mark 48 torpedo tubes, forward compartment 4th level. General characteristics SSBN 726 to SSBN 733 from construction to refueling. Armament, 24 times Trident IC-4 SLBM with up to 8 MIRVed 100 KTTNTW-76 nuclear warheads each, range 4000 nmi, 7,400 km, 4,600 miles. General characteristics: SSBN 734 and subsequent hulls upon construction, SSBN 730 to SSBN 733 since refueling. Armament: 24 times Trident 2D5 SLBM with up to 12 MIRVed W76 or W88, 304-75 KTTNT, nuclear warheads each, range 6,100 nmi, 11,300 km, 7,000 miles. General characteristics: SSGN conversion. Armament: 22 tubes, each with 7 Tomahawk cruise missiles, totaling 154.
Please subscribe and thanks for watching.